Hey guys, so I have been on some other platforms, a couple podcasts, and the best section of any video is usually the comment section, right? Right. So, I've been reading the comments, and many people have some of the similar questions as others. I mean, like really good questions, both male and female. And so I just thought that I would do a questionnaire of 5 questions per male and female today. And they want answers. I have the answers, and you yourself may also be wondering the same questions and need answers as well. Okay? I am Coach Kara. Welcome back to my channel, and we are doing another dating and relationship questionnaire. Let's get started. So, firstly, I want to start with the ladies, of course. 5 questions, and one of the first questions is, and yes, I have my notes here because I refuse to memorize all of this. One of the questions from one of the ladies was, how do you know when a man is really interested? Okay, so typically let's just break it all down and just not go into the specifics. Either he is interested and pursuing you with intentions for something more, something serious, or he isn't. It's just as simple as that. And when I say he isn't, he might be playing mind games, maybe in and out, may only want to come around for certain reasons, that sort of thing, that sort of energy and behavior, which is always quite evident. So you'll be able to identify that far more than you will if someone is interested. So if someone is interested in you, outside of the physical attraction, they're going to be more in pursuit of your intellect, what you think about life, how intelligent you are, how knowledgeable you are, your interests, your hobbies. They're going to want to know more personable things about you. However, of course, even someone who is a bit of a player may do the same thing, but more so than likely when someone is taking the time out to get to know you and they are engaging and spending time with you, okay, it's quite evident then there is something there. If you find yourself trying to do more and trying to make it seem like they're matching your energy, more than likely, they're not all that interested or invested in this sort of connection, okay? Either they are or they aren't. It's black and white. Anything else in between is BS. Know that. What do men really want? It's a very big question. And it's an even bigger question today. And then you have to differentiate the younger men from the older men. Listen, my loves. When a man presents himself to you, or maybe you approached him, either way, right away, he already knows what you're going to be to him. Okay? So he already knows if he's emotionally available or not. If you're going to be his boo thing for a little while, he's going to get rid of you and be. He already knows. It really is hard to say. So now let's piggyback off the last question. You'll know what it is that he wants from you based on the energy that he's giving. You don't really have to ask. A man's actions are always honest. Okay? Even when he's trying to hide certain emotions in a more positive aspect, you kind of get the idea, okay, he likes me, he's just shying away for whatever reason. It's always going to be quite evident. So to put it out there broadly and ask, what does a man really want? It varies, but you will know based on the energy that they're giving to you. Most males take action, either in a good manner or a positive manner. Good manner or negative, sorry about that. Yeah, positive or negative manner, that he's going to show some sort of action, and whatever action he's giving you, well, then that's what he wants from you. Okay, so the next question is, how do I know what type of guy to choose? So here's the thing. You have to base that question based on what it is that you expect from a type of person, what it is that you want out of the connection or relationship. Do you want someone who's funny and sometimes serious? Or, it just really depends on what it is that you want. But when you don't know, This is like the best time to actively date. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to date this person long term. It could just be anyone. It could be a mutual friend. Just go out and see if you like certain personas and characteristics about people. That's really the only way that you're going to know that. And I know it's hard to do that, especially today with everything being so, I don't know, withdrawn and just passive and interactive behavior. I get it. But at the same time, that's the only way that you're going to know. Or just being around certain types of people, different types of people. If you have different friend groups, go in those friend groups and just be around certain guys and say, okay, I like a guy who acts like that, or thinks that way, or has certain characteristics and traits like this individual. And you kind of like mesh it all together until you can build in your mind the certain type of individual that you would like to be with. Because today I know it's very hard to do with everything being, behind the phones and the internet. So yes, it's basically just being around different types of people and energies to determine what type of individual that you would like as a whole. How do I know if I am sexually compatible with a guy? And I felt like this was a very good question, especially if you're not the most experienced, you haven't been with X amount of partners to know that. Furthermore, guys can be tricky. So they may come off as not wanting to be as sexually active or wanting you for that purpose all the time. But then in most cases, it's usually that way. All right. You could be a person who has sex appeal, and it may come off as, oh wow, I bet she could get down in the boudoir. Yeah, I bet she could get it. But then when that time comes, or you guys become more involved and it gets close to that, they're not seeing that, they're not getting that. So I can get why she would ask that kind of question. Well, here's the thing. You have to talk about it. You have to engage. Come out of that being shy and being reserved and apprehensive about such a question, because you're going to want to know that. And if you don't, it's going to become a major concern later on, especially if you two have a good connection and chemistry is there, but the culprit is sexually. So the best time to have this conversation is when you two are becoming a bit more intimate. So what type of person do you like in the bedroom? Are you more of a freak or are you more reserved? Get those answers, because it's going to matter to you. If this person is far more experienced and they are a bit more wild than you are, okay, well then you might want to say, you're not the person for me. I just need somebody who's conservative, who don't need it as regular or not as, freaky or whatever. You can make that decision versus putting yourself out there to be disappointed or embarrassed, to say the least. Okay. And lastly for the ladies is, when do I express my feels to a guy? And which is also a great question, because what females have the tendency of doing is putting their feels out there sooner than they should. Expressing themselves, if not verbally, with their actions, versus waiting to see if that other person is giving you the same energy, if they're giving you the same vibes and it's genuine. See, you kind of want that reciprocal behavior. You want that same vibe, that same energy going on. But if you're coming off as, I like you way more than you like me, or I really, really like you, and you just are, and the other person is still just interested in you, it's a problem. You want to make sure everything that you guys are doing has the mutual energy. Now, granted, it's quite normal to be a few degrees higher, just a couple degrees, but not very much. That's very normal. And you want them to give you some of that back, most of it back. And if you're not getting that, well, fall back all the way until this person can catch up with you. And being fair and giving them enough time to catch up to where you are, and it doesn't get there, well, perhaps this just isn't the connection for you. All right. So you don't put all your energy and all of your emotions out there too soon, especially if he hasn't said anything or given any kind of indication that he's feeling more for you than you are for him. All right. So that is the first half for the ladies. Let's move on to questions for our guys. Now, these were very good questions. The first one is, and I know you've heard this one before, I just wanted to get this one out of the way. Why do women try changing men? So it's a simple logic to that. As humans, we all have an idealistic visualization of our person, our job, our life. So when you meet someone and they're good just the way they are, but they could just need a little bit more critiquing. Some more than others, because you can see, a woman can see the potential in this guy. But here's the problem with that. When we try to change someone from their character, a position that they've been in, that they've been building since the age of 5 to I think 19, and they're way above those ages, okay, it's very hard to break that. They have been already, grown into that whole persona. So for someone to come along and try to change that, you're changing them from whom they are. And if they really care about you or really love you, they might try doing that, but find it challenging to be who they are because they're trying to please the other person. So what typically happens is this may go on for a short time, hell, maybe 6 months or so, okay? And they become aggravated because they're not feeling like themselves. They're feeling out of sorts, and then they revert to who they really are, and now it becomes a problem. So to answer that question, I get it that women are just trying to change you to be the better version of yourself, or to fit their idealistic creature. And that's pretty much all that it is. It's not with any malicious intent. They just may see a better side of you that you can't see, more potential, or you could do better in these areas. Now, if it does come off as just being, condescending and whatever, then you probably shouldn't be with that person anyway. Okay, that's that. Now, number 2. Why do women insult men and then expect them to go back to being the loving, caring boyfriend or husband that they once were? This is a major problem in a lot of relationships. So I actually had a guy friend one time tell me that him and his girl, they were cool every now and then. They would have their little things or whatever. She would get upset. But this one particular time, whatever she was holding in, it came out. And she called him a bitch. Now, see, we can't talk like that anymore on YouTube. So, yeah, by her saying that with such force and conviction, it stuck with him. It bothered him so badly to the point that he wasn't going to let her go. So what he did was he stuck around for like another year or so and simply made her life a living hell. Okay? Because she attacked his manhood, his masculinity, his ego. And ladies, you should already know the male ego is quite fragile. All right. So whatever a woman says to them, they take that to heart, because if you're thinking it, perhaps the other person that rejected them was thinking the same thing as well. So when women say things like that and then expect the man to go back to just loving her like he once did and treating her as though she was a queen, you're not going to get that same energy. But why do they do that? To get your attention. It's an attention getter in the most negative manner ever, because when someone cares about you and they love you, they're not going to talk to you that way. So you do the assessment of that individual actually care about you that deeply in the first place, because they wouldn't let those words touch their lips. Yeah, but it's all an attention getter. It is to get you to wake you up, especially if you're the type of person that walk away, or be quiet, or whatever. I don't want to hear that. Boom, they says this, and that gets your attention. That's all that it is. Now, if it's seriously, intentional, I don't know, you have to ask your person that. But, I mean, it should never be tolerated, in my opinion, at all. So this guy asks, why can't women just simply be okay with being single? So, Why do they always feel as though they have to rush into a serious monogamous situation? Like, why can't we just hang out and go out, date, have fun? Not all the time, but every now and then, without trying to rush into something and make it more serious. Well, the answer to that is quite simple. Well, perhaps she's tired of being alone, or maybe she's lonely. Just needs something more, a stronger bond, something long term. She's probably tired of feeling bad or sad about that last situation, and she wants something. If it's going great and she's feeling good and confident and secure, like emotionally secure, well, she's going to want to create some sort of solidarity there. She's going to want to create, a real solid type forever, not forever, but long-term bond, especially if she is emotionally comfortable and secure with being around you. You give her those vibes. So that's why she could maybe pushing it towards that direction. But yeah, I get it. Why women just can't chill, especially if a guy is emotionally unavailable and she can see that. But even still, she tries to push. Why not just chill and fall back? Well, women can be quite persistent in their own right. Next. So this guy was pretty upset about the topic, the questions that were going on in this particular video, and he was wondering, what defines a real man? Like, how has that become such a major thing? So here's my answer to that. The definition of a real man, it varies from each person to person. What one person in their eyes, from their perspective, may be considered a real man, and I don't like that terminology at all. I would rather say the ideal type person, but it varies. You can't just say, oh, this guy is a real man. Oh no, he's a real man, but he's not. Even though he's not doing anything wrong, he just doesn't match, her standards, or may not measure up to the highest potential. You know what I'm saying? Even though he makes a good salary and he's somewhat educated and responsible, take care of his things, takes care of life, he's self-efficient, but he may not measure up. You know what I'm saying? He may not be real enough, if you understand what I'm saying. So it's a loaded question, and it's quite confusing, and it causes a lot of problem. So fellas out there, do not take offense to that, because one woman's real man may not be the other's real man. It just all depends on the type of person that she's looking for. You understand? It really is just quite that simple. To each is his own. That's all it is. Yeah? So why can't women just have fun first? So this guy was more curious about just being friends and just hanging out, and just not even thinking about a relationship, but just, embracing, being a sneaky link, just doing that first and just staying in that stage, and then just letting it build and grow into something more. And that's how he kind of likes it, because it makes him feel comfortable. I remember him saying that the best way for him to open up is to become friends first. This way he can know he can trust you. It's easier for him to see what your actual personality is outside of all the makeup and the hair and the extra. Because he knows if he comes at you as a friend, you're going to open up, verbally and emotionally and in other areas. So he'd rather start off that way, because it makes the whole situation more organic, and it's easier to get to know you and both of you to open up. So why can't it just start off as just friendly and then morph into something more, if that is a possibility? You understand? So the answer to that is because, well, everyone isn't patient enough for real friendly connections anymore. Everyone wants a temporary situation. You may get someone who every now and then who is like that, but then try finding that person who just wants to text and just talk on the phone, meet up every now and then, hang out, have fun, just let it build and roll. But no, everyone's trying to rush into something extra. And more so than likely, you have to be careful about those type of people. Those are the individuals that are probably not even ready for something real. So if you're more on the friendly vibe first, you stay right there. Don't let anyone rush you or change that, because if that is your method to getting to know someone on a more genuine and deeper connection, you keep that going. And if they can't do it, well, you roll right over them, baby. Yeah, you just keep doing your thing, because if you know what you need, to build something real, well, then you're not doing anything wrong. And you have to be very wary about people who rush into things, okay? All right, guys, hopefully this has been insightful for you and somewhat fun. Yeah, if you have any more questions, I think this is the second questionnaire video I've done this year, and I'll try to do more in a year, and let me know if I duplicate, but drop down below and let me know if you have any questions, or you can shoot me an email if you're too shy, so we can keep talking about these matters and get these sort of questions and concerns addressed as a whole, because everyone wants to know the same question, but no one's really given the answer. And of course, everyone's going to have a different perspective and opinion. So, well, here's just another. All right. Hopefully this has been fun for you. I thank you so much for joining me always. That is all for now. Until next time.